This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Ben Settle, compulsively punchable.
He's the kind of guy who you'd probably just punch on the arm really hard if you ever met him.
Worshipped by feminists.
He pokes fun at feminism and women, just joking around, his whole sandwich making thing.
Mildly inspiring.
Yes, I recommend the Ben Settle Show, and anybody who isn't on it, that's their own loss.
Somewhat authentic.
Ben is a very distinct personality. There's no fluff. I can't stand fluff.
Syrupy sweet.
Tells it like it is, and sometimes may not be the most polite manner, shall we say.
Kind of useful.
So I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on coaching and masterminds, and I've learned more from Ben Settle's podcast than from any of that.
Semi-intelligent.
Ben sounds like a crazy guy at times, but he's one of the smartest individuals in marketing I've ever met.
Mostly forgettable.
He's always in the forefront of my mind.
The BenSettle.com podcast begins now.
This is the BenSettle.com podcast. I'm your host, if you can guess my name. The BenSettle.com. I'm going to let people guess. It could be. I'm going to let people guess what my name is, as if they, we'll see. I like to gauge the intelligence of my audience at times, and this is one way I'm going to do it. It's the BenSettle.com podcast. Guess what my name is. For anyone who's not already obviously familiar. Now, if they think it's .com, then they might be, they may be a little too dumb to be listening to this show. And Jonathan, I've taken it so low over the last few weeks that that's saying something. So, all right. So this sort of piggybacks on last week's, where I talked about all those resources for guys that are having trouble with girls. One of the blogs I used to read, I don't read it anymore because it's not published anymore. It's not up anymore. I don't even remember what the entire URL was. It was like Laid NYC or something like that, like implying here's how to get laid in New York City or something like that. But the guy was extremely intelligent. Like his blog posts were really, really well thought out and interesting and extremely controversial. And one of the ones I want to read, in fact, I learned a lot about, he did a really good post on, for example, having mission, the importance of having a mission and all that, and how it won't make you needy and make you automatically are not needy if you just focus on your mission, because you don't have time to be. You don't have time for bull crap. You don't have time for low-class jackass people, not because you say it, not because you're going on Facebook declaring that you give zero fucks, but because you really don't. So you don't have to say it. Remember, if you have to, this is an email player's rule, Jonathan. If you have to say it, you ain't it. Remember that?
Yeah.
I don't remember which number it was, but if you see anybody declare and pound their chest on Facebook that they have zero fucks to get, it means they care. It means that they do care, and they want everyone to think they deeply care, that they care probably more than they should. The more people try to what's funny, anytime somebody makes a claim, they create an objection. This is a very powerful sales principle, by the way. If you don't want objections, quit making claims. Well, how do you do this without making claims? Well, you have to make claims. But it's when you make the claim is most important. If you don't build a vision of the problem first, then all you're doing is bringing up objections. This has nothing to do with anything of the show today, Jonathan, but sometimes I brain fart. What can I say? I do it. So anyway, back to the Laid New York City guy. This is a great blog. I'm going to read it word for word. It's not really long. This one gets people riled up. So the title of the post is No, just the word no. And here's the blog. Here's the content. If left to their own free will, girls make decisions that are horrible to them. Deep down, they know this, and they crave for a man to tell them no. I hope Cupcake's listening to this. It turns out Western women are operating under a serious no deficiency. Maybe daddy wasn't around or didn't do his job. Maybe all the guys around her are dickless yes men. Maybe her tits are an ATM and her vagina is a magic lamp with unlimited wishes.
Wow.
I wish I could write like this. Seriously, I don't have the writing talent to do this kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. If you want a girl to respect and love you, you must tell her no every now and then. Can we get sushi instead of barbecue? No. Will you buy me a drink? No. Do you think I'd look good with short hair? No. Can I take out a loan for the psychology degree? No. Can I have the right to vote? No. Only after a girl knows. Only after a girl knows that you will not grant her every wish can she love you. A girl needs no like you need water, protein, and EFAs. I'm not sure what that is. And today's women are starving. Help stop the hunger. So that was his blog post. And his whole point was, if you're one of these yes men, white knight types, maybe you ought to start telling a girl no every now and then instead of just saying yes because you're afraid you won't get any or whatever. The promise will never be kept from her. Like the implied promise. If you just keep saying yes, you just keep wearing that pussy hat. You keep wearing the I am a feminist t-shirt. You keep wearing the I voted for Hillary button. If you just virtue signal enough and yes, she will eventually give you what you want. No, she's not. You're much better off saying no. And not to, I don't think you should do it tactically. I don't think it should be done to do it just, because it's a tactic, but because you really do disagree with something, or you really do know she's doing something that's harmful to her, and it's better if you just say no. It's got to be real. It's got to be done out of principle, not tactics. All right? Is that clear to the audience? I'm not actually, I can't hear them, but
nor do you want to.
They know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I do actually. Well, they do. Usually I get feedback in El Bembo's lair, but I've closed that off to basically, forever. It's going to be a long time before I probably open that up to new people again. Yeah, I want less people.
You're saying no.
I'm saying no. I want it down to less than 1,000 people in there. And we're at 2,200 or something. So I got a lot of people to get rid of still. Everybody's on probation in there. And I'll get rid of people just for no reason at all.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my cut. Oh, you've been cut, buddy. You're out of here.
Get out of line just a little bit. Make one false move and you're out. And don't think you're the first, because there's many more that came before you. And there'll be many more after you. But, that's usually where I'll get some feedback is in there. And usually sometimes it's a girl and she'll be passive aggressive about it. That's how you know you pick. By the way, you don't know how you make a girl mad if she gets passive aggressive, or she just gets uncharacteristically aggressive. She'll start using words that she doesn't normally use because you really triggered her. And then she'll pretend like she's not triggered. It's just, you can see it a mile away. I find it kind of amusing, but, I wouldn't want them any other way though. I don't want them to change though, Jonathan, because that's what makes them girls. I don't want them changing. I want them to be that way. But sometimes they need the medicine. Sometimes the medicine needs to be administered, and telling them no is a way of administering much needed medicine to someone who doesn't even know they're sick. But we know they're sick. Jonathan, we know they're sick, and we are the doctors, and we got the cure. We got the medicine. If you're a guy who knows what you're doing, if you're a guy wearing a pussy hat and, going down to the feminist rallies and you don't give any medicine. You're giving poison. Okay, don't give them anything. But if you're a guy who actually is a guy, you give the medicine when needed. It's all going to be okay. I got you. Jonathan's got you. The people listening to this show who understand this stuff, we got you. Girls, don't worry about it. We got you. So that said, how does this apply to business? That's really what people are listening for. Nobody's listening to hear my views on this stuff, even though I'm happier than most guys out there, I like to think, at least the ones I know, because they just don't know how to say no to people. This does apply to, this has a huge implications for business if you have any self-respect, and if you want to draw boundaries, and if you want to take the principle that I take, which is it's better to have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. Jonathan, I would much rather have 4 quarters in my pocket than 100 sticky pennies, who knows where they've been, rattling around in my pocket. I'd rather have the 4 quarters. Less is better in that case. I'd rather have fewer quality people than a lot of low quality people. And by telling people no in business, this is what will happen. So, for example, here's an example. Somebody asks you, can I have a discount? Most people will, because they get needy and they get anxious and they don't want to lose the client or they don't want to lose the sale. Yes, I'll do a discount just for you. I'll do it just for you.
I'll raise the price for asking.
Exactly. My answer, that's exactly it. Raise the price. You know what? Now it's twice as much. You want to keep asking for discounts? It'll go 3 times as much. Real story, Jonathan. True life story. So my friend Michael Stenoff and I, every Labor Day weekend, we do this Eugene Schwartz product sale. It's a $297 product. And then for that weekend, we sell it for $20. And it's always a big hit and people love it. It's a great product. I mean, it's such a no-brainer to buy it.
That product, Ben, you ruined some of the mystery for me when you told me that Michael actually had a voiceover artist do it, and that wasn't really Eugene Schwartz. You fucked it up for me.
He had to hire an actor off Craigslist. But he didn't have the audio of it, so what else could he do?
Yeah,
right?
No, it's great.
It's funny because it is great. He found that actor to do some more voiceover for short stuff too, but we do that. And so one time somebody tried to after the deadline was over, right? Now I don't know how to make my deadlines more clear, Jonathan. I mean, I do it for 4 days. I'm sending 3 emails out a day for 3 of those days and 7 or 8 on the last day, each clearly saying the deadline. I don't know how anybody could miss the deadline. I really don't. But one guy missed the deadline. And so he goes, can I still have it at a discount? And Michael said, no, You can have it, but you can have it for, this much. I think it's $60 or something. He goes, well, how about just 40? He goes, okay, now it's 80. And the guy, and this went like for 2 or 3 email exchanges. And I could just tell Michael was laughing. I think he ended up, okay, now it's 200. And the guy just kept getting really mad. And, but that's what you do. You tell them no. I don't, I'm not saying there's never a time to do a discount. I mean, there are sales and that kind of stuff. But like after a discount, and then they say, can you hold the door open for me? No. How are you? What happens to that customer if you give in to them and you don't say no to them? They're going to try some crap the next time. In fact, here's what they're going to do. They're going to come to other people and expect the same treatment. They're going to become a pain in the ass customer for the rest of us. So I expect all of you out there in the bensettle.com podcast who sell to the same people I sell to stop saying yes to stupid things because they come to me then are paying them. You need to train your customers better, is what I'm saying.
They got bad habits.
They got real bad habits. They need medicine. Now, I'm always administering medicine to my customers. I expect everyone else to be doing the same thing. All right. So here's another example. Do you offer email players in digital? The answer is no. But can you do it for me? I live on a deserted island or whatever. And I'm thinking, well, how do you even get internet? If you can't get mail, how are you getting internet? Like, it doesn't compute to me. And if you're really if you need to be off the grid that much, I don't really want you as a customer. These people are just ridiculous. They live out they go through ridiculous lengths to save money by living in these back-ass words, jerkwater countries that I can't even pronounce the name of. And I'm supposed to bend over backwards and change my policy just for them. It's not going to happen. The answer is no. You're not going to get it in digital. End of discussion. Now, some people would say yes. And early on, Jonathan, I did make this mistake. There were a couple people that I would send it digitally to. And it's funny how they started popping up on pirate sites after that. Huh.
No kidding.
In one case, the guy neither of them lasted very long either because nobody values digital products. Like there's just only so much value you can put on something like a PDF. And so it is. So there was other reasons why I don't do digital either that I'm not going to go into right now. But, it's interesting. Will you give a break on your fee if we promise to hire you for more work? No, no, absolutely not. And if you're a freelance copywriter and you give into that, you may get lucky and you may have a stand-up client who comes through with that. I mean, it happens. But in a lot of cases, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Will you give us a break? Well, there could be all this work later, Well, if you have all this work coming on, then why do you need a discount on this? It's my thought. Like if you're that successful, like anybody, like I don't like price shoppers as a rule, as a principle. I don't like the price shoppers that buy on the cheap. I like the price shoppers that want to pay a lot. And there are clients out there who prefer to pay more than less. And that's the kind of, if you go for those ones, you never have to tell them no. But these like ticky-tack clients, like, can you give me a break on your fee? Absolutely not. If you want a break on a fee, there's so many other copywriters you could be choosing from. Why are you even talking to me? I do quality work for a quality fee. And so it is.
It's like just a
that'd
tip.
That'd be a great slogan. Quality work at a quality fee. Like just come right out and say you're expensive. And if you do that, whether you say it like that or not, but if you just make it very clear up front, you are expensive by just coming out and saying, I am expensive, or I'm the most expensive at this in this arena. Anybody who you talk to is not a price shopper and is someone who's already willing to pay a lot. You know how much time you just saved yourself by just being honest and saying I'm expensive? A lot. Okay, so here's another one. Can you send me a sample issue of Email Players so I can see if it's good or not?
What?
No, are you fucking kidding me? It's like I've actually had people ask this.
No.
Like they're doing me some favor so they can intelligently assess it. That's why you get the first issue free when you opt in. So this is why I don't do Ben, why don't you do a $1 trial like, so-and-so? First of all these $1 trial people are not as successful as you might think they are. El Bembo gets inside scoop on a lot of things. And I can tell you right now, people who do print newsletters and they give a $1 trial and they give you all these bonuses, they give you like $50 worth of books and stuff. They are not doing nearly as well as they would like you to believe. At least the ones I know about. There may be some flukes out there, fine, granted, and I'm talking some big names that struggle with this because they don't understand that that's bringing in the wrong people with the wrong mindset. It's not 1984 anymore where you had a higher quality people in this market. The marketing world was much higher quality. Since the internet, you have so many people who pass themselves off as knowing stuff and they don't know anything. And they just come in with these bad habits and they need the medicine and all that. So can I get a sample issue? No, but you can opt into my site and get the first issue free. Right now, I'm not saying you got to I'm just giving an example here of how to say no to people in business. Your mileage will vary based on what you sell and all that, but do not be afraid to tell people no. That's the moral of the story, whether it be a girl asking for the right to vote or a customer asking for an extension on a deadline. The answer is no. No, 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 no. Think of that movie Tombstone. Did you ever see Tombstone, Jonathan? With
Yeah.
Kurt Douglas? Or is that his name? Not Kurt. What is his name?
Russell.
Kurt Russell. And he's like he's like caught in that crossfire. And the guy who the bad guy, he just says, no, no. And he's just yelling no while he's walking right at him, getting shot at. That's the mindset to take. Be Wyatt Earp. Tell him no. All right, next week, Jonathan, we're going to piss off some millennials and some baby boomers, hopefully. And we're going to talk about why Gen X makes the best entrepreneurs and the attributes that we have that anybody can take. If you happen to be in one of these lesser generations, you can use our attributes. We will let you freely use them. And that'll be next week.
All right, looking forward to it. So that's a wrap for another BenSettle.com podcast. We'll be back in your earbuds next time. Thanks for tuning in.
You've been listening to the BenSettle.com podcast. To get your hands on a free issue of Ben Settle's prestigious $97 per month email player's newsletter, simply go to www.bensettle.com.
This is the podcastfactory.com.